What is up, everybody? We are now mere months away from what Crunchyroll hopes to be the biggest anime awards yet. But wait, will it be so great? I don't think so, and I'm about to get into my reasons why. Before we get into that though, let's get into some backstory first. Ever since the second anime awards, I have been an active judge. Honestly, at first, I took pride in it. Mainly because for me, it wasn't about who was the best. We all knew who was going to win. Honestly, look at Mal, look at AniList, look at any anime database, and you'll know exactly who's going to win. It's always the popular vote. It's the big shonens. They're always going to win. But for me personally, it was about celebrating anime. I didn't care who won. I just wanted to make sure as many anime as possible that were really fantastic got some sort of noting. Honestly, for me, it was about the nominations. It was about all the people that made it on the list itself, not necessarily about who won. Because again, I know who's going to win the popular vote. And that has been my personal passion for so many years. And honestly, unlike some judges, I actually watched most everything. Using this knowledge, it's easy to contribute to finding the cream of the crop for everybody and give the fandom the best list that they can have and agree on to vote on. Sadly, I'll admit, that passion slowly left me. Each year had some sort of critical failure that would happen. The fandom would laugh and mock the anime awards. Why is Odd Taxi in comedy? Where is romance? Why did this one show win every single category? Why is a movie in best animation? The boundaries weren't set. The rules were broken. The point systems was flawed. Things ended up where it shouldn't end. Judges weren't watching shows. So many things led to every single year having something that was like, why is this a thing? Why didn't somebody see this and question, maybe we should change this? And sadly, in the end, we just move on. Each and every time, I would contact the people in charge. They would typically ask for our feedback. What do you think can make this better? And so I would take the time to write out all my thoughts broken down by category to each point that I think was broken and what they could do to fix it, only to get no response. And I would go on with my life, only to return the next year and see that nothing has changed. One feedback got taken into consideration amongst many, and that one feedback didn't fix the most critical errors in the system. It became a growing frustration that had me struggling every single year if I even wanted to sign up. Do I want to put my name on something that just doesn't seem like it's got any passion in it? Something that just feels like it's just going through the motions. Something that feels like it's getting more and more disconnected from the fandom. Something that is more and more flawed now than ever. Do I want to put my name on that? Do I want to be a part of that? Do I feel like it's celebrating anime like I want it to? Began to question that. It was hard to say yes. But honestly, 2021's Anime Awards, oddly named 2022, was different. It was terrible. It felt extremely disconnected. On the day of, I fired up my live stream, chat jumped in there, we were all talking about what we were expecting to win, we were all excited, we're on the page itself. I'm actually on the side just flipping through Twitch, YouTube, trying to find out where they're actually going to post the live stream, only to find there wasn't one. There was no ceremony. They just updated their website and listed the winners. They are just... You called it! Something had gone terribly wrong at Crunchyroll. On the upside, it was one of my first most successful live streams ever, as fans were frantically searching YouTube and Twitch trying to find where are they at. They found my stream where we just essentially went through each of the selections. I did my own verbal drum rolls for each one of them. I tried to make it as festive as possible, and we just went through all the winners. Again, something went wrong. And as I thought about it, it all made sense. Something big happened at Crunchyroll in 2021. Technically, it was 2020, but the effects themselves came into play in 2021. They were bought out by Sony. And sadly, something comes along with a new boss walking into the doors of Crunchyroll headquarters. A sense of almost liability prevention, control, fat trimming, and yes, not playing nice with others on the playground. I realized Crunchyroll had become a corporate entity, and corporate entities are really, really good at playing everything really safe. The old feelings of the fandom, the community, partnerships, and experimentations all get stomped out really, really quickly. And damn if they weren't quick about it. You remember that whole partnership with Sentai Filmworks that Crunchyroll had? Yeah, that went gone real quick. Edgy, goofy anime memes on Twitter, gone. I remember when we had fun, community-centered award ceremonies, gone. Now you're saying to yourself, Andrew, The Anime Awards are still happening. Yes, I know. But that's where we get into the real topic at hand. Why the Crunchyroll Anime Awards can and may very well fail. Let's get into a little inside baseball. Around the first week of the fall anime season, typically the judges will be contacted, and the initial nominations are chosen very quickly. There's a reason for this. Crunchyroll then has to basically take this list and then go to all the license holders and get permission to use footage, names, logos, images, all that kind of stuff. So it makes perfect sense. As a corporation that makes a lot of money, you can't just throw up images of other shows willy-nilly because you leave yourself up for lawsuits, which is something that us as anime fans, we throw up images all the time. We don't care because we're not a big corporation that they can get a lot of money out and sue. But Crunchyroll's different, especially with Sony behind them. They have to be very careful about what they put up. Well, interestingly enough, Crunchyroll has not reached out to me. Now, who knows? Maybe after 6 years of judging, they finally got sick of me. I'm perfectly willing to accept that. Maybe one of my recent videos criticizing Sony touched a nerve. I'm willing to accept that too. I have not been favorable to Sony's buyout of Crunchyroll. I've honestly been very negative about it. And I was even more critical when Sony bought Right Stuff. I'm not their friend. They don't like me. No, honestly, from my perspective, I feel like I've been very constructive about my criticism. It's mostly about fears of what's to come. Things that I don't want them to do. Things that I feel that will only hurt the fandom and, in effect, hurt them. It's warnings, basically. This is something I'm passionate about, and thus I'm going to speak out. Now, if that makes them hate me, that sucks. But I digress. As I questioned why Crunchyroll had not contacted me yet to be a judge, I realized exactly what may be changing. Yes, they may not want me to judge, they may be downsizing their list, or maybe they don't want judges. At least judges outside their company. Bringing in influencers and content creators from outside in order to be a part of it throws up some really big red flags for corporate executives. Yes, now granted, Crunchyroll was under AT&T before, but it really felt like Crunchyroll wasn't really being held down as much with AT&T. We're already seeing that Sony is putting a much stronger hold upon Crunchyroll. That was evident with the breakup of the partnership with so many groups once they got bought out. Again, look at Sentai Filmworks. They used to be buddies, but Sony's different. They see everything as a liability, and thus having these random influencers and content creators being judges, they're gonna go, but what if they do something wrong and their face is on our platform? What if they do something wrong? We can't have that liability. So the best way to avoid having any sort of liability is to just not work with them. Don't associate with anybody outside the company. Which leads me to believe that this year's Crunchyroll Anime Awards will not have judges. Now you're thinking, how are they going to nominate then? Well, that brings us two options. The first, either Crunchyroll creates a website and puts every single anime in a list and people are able to select the nominations and they submit it, and then they pull this together, have to get rid of some of the gaming of the system, anybody that's trying to spam the system, work that information out with each nomination, what should be in there, what shouldn't. Or they just go the simple, lazy, and honestly more likely route. They select their own nominations based on their own catalog viewership. Wait. I know what you're thinking, but what about the shows that are not on their platform? Exactly. It's brilliant, right? It's absolutely brilliant. What better way for them to avoid licensing content, contacting to get permission, and give any credit to properties that they don't have under their own umbrella? It's genius. It's big brain moment for Crunchyroll. Papa Sony is super happy. Let's be perfectly honest, Sony does not want to associate with other companies. Why would they want to advertise a show that they don't have under their wings? And I predict this year's Anime Awards, this will be on full display. Sony will not be showcasing the Anime Awards, they will be showcasing the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. No Cyberpunk Edge Runner, no Romantic Killer, Summertime Rendering, no. Your boy Kongming, get out of here. Call the Night, shoo. Isekai Uncle, go back to the other world. And yes, Bleach, get out. For damn sure Bleach is not going to be there. Bleach is for sure not going to be there. But how will they get away with this? People are going to be furious. They're going to know immediately there's nothing on there but Crunchyroll shows. How will they pull this off without the anger from the fandoms? I believe they're going to drown out the voices with two different methods here. The first is that they have the three biggest shonens out there that most anime fans care about. Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and yes, Chainsaw Man. Sorry, Bleach fans. For this reason, sadly, most won't care. As long as my Punch Slice show is on there, I'm happy. There's a large majority of people that will be voting and watching that all they care about is their one big shonen show. Everything else is just there. As long as their one show wins, they don't care what happens. But the second reason why I believe they're going to drown out the voices is because I believe that a good reason why Crunchyroll is going to Japan is they want the back patting of the Japanese creators to be your focus. Bringing directors and producers will be their gift to the fans. Don't look behind the curtains. We're celebrating. And sadly, I don't think it's going to be that big of a spectacle. Mostly it's going to be producers that they already know and communicate on a regular basis to purchase shows. They'll probably get a lot of J-vloggers and stuff involved as well, influencers that live in Japan. Getting actual creators of source materials is going to be a different feat. Something that requires pulling longer strings that I don't think they're going to do. It's going to all be about location, location, location. We're in Japan. We're in Japan. This is the place that you all dream to be at, right? And they're going to play off that. And honestly, I think they're going to do it in an almost insulting way. But is this a big issue in the end? Honestly, no, not really. There's still plenty of fantastic groups that are holding their own anime awards now. People have gotten so sick of how Crunchyroll has been handling the anime awards that there's all these other groups that are rising up. Honestly, I think it's the reason why they're holding it in Japan right now. They've seen how badly they got destroyed last year, and that's led them to try to hold on to as much as possible to be the Grammys of anime. They want to be the Grammys, which I think is very telling. Honestly, I think is really sad if you think about it, because the Crunchyroll Anime Awards is pretty much the Grammys that nobody really wants to watch because they know it's just a stupid self-gratifying ceremony. It's lost that feeling of the fandom. It's lost the feeling of the people. It's lost the heart. It's lost the celebration, the focus on what's really the core that we should focus on. The anime, the people that put the effort into it, the fandom wanting to celebrate the creators that put the most amazing stuff before them. It's not about Crunchyroll. It's never been about Crunchyroll. It's never been about Sony, but I think they're gonna make it about them. And again, I think this is their effort to try to keep hold of that, but they don't wanna lose that. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll see Crunchyroll drops judges in December like they typically do, and I'm just not in the list. Or, if not, we'll see on March 4th. In the end, doesn't really matter because we all know who's gonna be the winners. Animation, Chainsaw Man. Best OP, Chainsaw Man. Best EDs, all the nominations are Chainsaw Man, and guess who wins? Chainsaw Man. Best boy, Denji. Best girl, probably Makima. Best score, Chainsaw Man. Best director, whoever worked on Chainsaw Man. Best protagonist, Denji. Best antagonist, Denji. Yes, that's an Attack on Titan joke. Best fight scene, one of the Chainsaw Mans. Best romance, probably Chainsaw Man. You know that Makima Denji thing. Best drama, Chainsaw Man. Best fantasy, probably Ranking of Kings. But I don't know, Chainsaw Man's probably gonna get nominated anyways. Best comedy, Chainsaw. I'd actually go with that. There's some scenes, come on. And then anime of the year, that's right, Attack on Titan. I'm joking, it's probably gonna be Chainsaw Man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of this whole situation. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm on point with this stuff? Or do you think things are gonna go differently? Again, do you really take anime awards seriously in the end? Or do you kind of have a hope like I do that it does celebrate what you love so much? Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. I greatly appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Additionally, to this topic, make sure to follow my Twitch channel as I will be live streaming this event for sure. And we will all get together and have a lot of fun seeing what comes out of this whole situation. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this video and y'all take care.